Okay, so here we are on the 8th of February, turn 26, and the Axis did opt to go first. We've kind of achieved what we wanted to in this area, so what I figured was we would take up our defensive positions, which are probably going to be like this for a little while unless we get ambitious, and start fortifying some hexes here. So I built a hedgehog and mature, and along the river line up here, the road follows along that hex. So we think holding down, we've got mature, we've got some reserves here. I moved a lot of my armored units back, and they're in reserve now should the Allies try something. We've got a bit of power here to try and counteract them. There's another tank battalion there. Artillery's in reserve in the area as well, so it looks fairly solid. The Allies have a mess to clean up in their units anyways, but I didn't see any glaring holes to try and exploit as the Axis here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this area. Depending on supply, I may build a few more hedgehogs in and around here. Just a few more key points. It would be nice to push the Allies back a little bit more away from Mature, but I'm not 100% sure if we're going to want to do that. It might be a little difficult, but we'll take a look, see what's in Mature itself. I've got it garrisoned fairly well. I've got the 7th Strength Italian anti-tank battalion. This little guy here, just to have the extra step should we take a step loss in that hex, plus this mountain regiment. So decent amount of factors in there, and it's in close terrain, so wouldn't be easy to take even DG'd. You'd have to get a lot of factors against that, and I have a lot of artillery in the area as well. And we have a hedgehog there now, so we should be holding on to that hex. I would hope so. Okay, we'll go take a look in the center and the south here as well. Alright. So, in the center here, kind of just have some units building up around Kasserine Pass. 21st Panzers in Gafsa at the moment. We're just holding behind this wadi. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's like a river for combat at least. And then we've got some units up here holding the northern side of it. Some decent units. So when we do decide to push in, I mean, in terms of action ratings, we are way above the Allied forces in the area. The thing is, we just don't have a ton of force to push in there right now. I would love to just go at them, but I feel like we should wait. We get 15th Panzer to come in next turn, and I think they will be turned this way to try and cause some problems, because like once we clear through this, we should be able to drive into the flank of the Allies, is what I'm aiming for. Or at least push up a little bit and capture Tabessa, which is a victory point for the Germans. We'll come down here to the south at the Mareth line. Alright, there we go. So you see here, just again, structuring the defenses. Got some decent action rating units all along the line now. Still might do a few more changes in terms of shuffling a guy here or there, but there's a decent line of action ratings in the front there. We did build hedgehogs here and here this turn. This looks like it'd be a key hex should the Allies swing around, so we want to make sure we hold on to that. The 90th LE, whatever, I'm not sure what that is, came on this turn. I think I'm going to use them as a reserve force, So they might just stay right in this area here. I'll put them into reserve mode next turn. And they'll just be ready to respond to any uncomfortable situations we might run into. I know 15th Panzer's coming in next turn. I'm not sure what else is coming with them. So 15th Panzer will likely go towards Kasserine, and depending on how I feel, whatever else is with them might stick here. I hope this is solid. I really don't want 8th Army to get through, but I also am trying to balance pressuring the Allies' flank in the north. So it's a fine line, I think. If I undercommit here, then we are definitely screwed. You can see here, actually, just to the north of Gebez, I moved a unit. I'm going to start trying to build some hedgehogs here so that we can fall back onto these positions along the road here. These hexes here and that one there, I think. We'll try and hedgehog those up to have a decent fallback should this line break. Yeah, the Allied advance is going to have to follow along the coast just for supply purposes, unless it all goes wrong at Kasserine. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Time to get into the Allied turn, I guess, and yeah, hopefully 8th Army can get here soon from their point of view, because they could use some help. Okay, so I just finished the Allied turn. Nothing really noteworthy. Just bringing some supply in, flipping some units to combat mode here and in the center there. They're kind of just waiting on 8th Army now, and any further reinforcements. They feel real beat up here and don't really see an opportunity. And until we can get some more forces, we'd like to maybe try and swing around at that point. But we're not there right now. Toying with the idea of maybe voluntarily pulling back and shortening our own lines to free up some mobile forces to do that. But we really worked so hard to get in this position in the first place that I'm not sure if that's what we want to do. And since the Germans have these available mobile forces, they could just swing that way and meet them anyways. So, bit of a thinker there. Okay, but we'll roll for weather for turn 27 now, and then we'll roll for the initiative. So weather first, and we'll be flight again. So go. Okay, now for the initiative roll. And this will be our last turn before we start rolling for 8th Army's entrance into the game. And the Allies will go first, and they will go first. Okay, so here we go with turn 27 then. Probably going to be another quiet one. Alright, the Allies just finished their turn. Quiet. They kind of built a little bit of a line along their flank here. See if we can. So, not heavily protected, but they've at least got a line at the major crossings here, protecting their flank, so it's the first line of defense at least if it all falls apart down there. But quiet again. Still kind of nervous to act as the Allies. We'd rather react than try and force the issue at the moment. Yeah, most peaceful it's been, I think, ever since, well, without mud, that is. The most peaceful time we've gone through. It's been pretty hectic up to this point, so it's about to get crazy again, I think, too. So, alright, time for the Germans. Alright, so just finished the February the 12th turn, turn 27. Not a lot of activity. the Germans built another hedgehog here, and built 2 more hedgehogs down at the Marathon. We'll go take a look there in a second. Again, feel pretty solid here. We'll go to the center now, actually, first, where 15th Panzer moved on to the map and are in a position to attack at Kasserine Pass next turn. So this is them right here in move mode. We've got some units holding the rail and road there. If we pull back a bit here, at Gafsa we have 21st Panzer, pretty much all of 21st Panzer. Tank battalion, some artillery, an organic truck, some independent artillery. I think I missed them. Oh, they're under the aircraft. Recon battalion and that fantastic Panzer Grenadier. So, gonna lay some pain onto the Allies here soon. Hopefully we can do it before 8th Army arrives, and yeah, kind of clean things up here and then turn our attention down to 8th Army. That'd be a fantastic turn of events for us. So, alright, so we'll take a look at the final setup of the Marathon here. At least so far. Oh, I'm all over the place. Okay. Alright, so as you can see, I built another hedgehog here and here, so we've got a bit of a fallback position, and same for our flank here. I'm kind of worried about the Allies just swinging around everything and trying to go through here. I'm not sure how many trucks they get, but they might be able to build an extender right off the start. I mean, they would be vulnerable, I would think, attacking through these clear hexes, but I don't know. Okay, well, let's roll for our initiative and whatnot here. Alright. Okay, so we'll roll for weather first. And we'll be clear weather. And now for the initiative. That's a tie, we'll go again. And the Axis win. And I think the Axis will take this an opportunity to attack at Kasserine there. Yeah, I think we will. We'll roll, see if 8th Army's going to enter this turn as well. We need a 9 or higher for them to enter in this turn. And they get it. Alright, so we will have 8th Army, and we probably will have a battle at Kasserine there. Alright, this should be an interesting turn. Okay, so here we are at Kasserine. The Germans are causing a bit of a ruckus over here. So I'll kind of walk through what we've done in the movement phase here. Gafsa is just off screen here. That's where 21st Panzer was. They swung around past the wadi, and we had actually hip shot the units here before they moved. DG'd the units on that side of the wadi, and then overran them and killed these 2 units here, a tank battalion and an infantry regiment. Killed them outright, and then moved along up the road and spotted these 2 stacks. There was 2 stacks, one here and one here. This one was a reserve mechanized infantry, and then this is headquarters and some artillery and a few units. So we spotted them and hip shot both and successfully DG'd them. The Germans did take a step loss to another Stuka, so I think we only have 1 full strength Stuka left, which kind of sucks. So then 15th Panzer, which was just up in this direction here. I went into move mode and followed around the road and came and overran that mechanized infantry that was in reserve, and that's the situation we have ourselves in here now. Actually, I also moved a 21st Panzer artillery unit here so that we can trace supply in through to this guy. So he was up in the north here, just off screen as well. He came down along the roads, was gone through here, and now has blocked off the Allied artillery. So that artillery will not be able to get in range of these two stacks here to attempt to barrage us. So looks like we will be attacking that hex then in the combat phase. Kind of regretting not building those aircraft now, because there is fighters cover here for the Germans as well, and we don't have a lot of fighters to try and sweep them. The Germans could even throw a few more fighters over in this direction just to cover up. Because we do have bombers, the Allies do have bombers they could have used here. We might go for it anyways and try and sweep the fighters and try and do something to stop this attack here. Or else it's going to be a little bloody. Okay, well that's it for movement. No activity really on the rest of the front. Just waiting for 8th Army and just holding our positions in the north. So, alright, so we'll get on with some combat. Okay, so quick update from the reaction phase here. The Allies actually did opt to fighter sweep and succeeded, and then ended up DGing both stacks there. So that will probably prevent an attack on their HQ, but that's not going to save it. Definitely not. Oh, I might barrage here as well. Oh, I don't even know if these guys can get supply. Anyway, we'll think that one over too. But hey, the Allied Air Forces had some success finally. Okay, so here we are in the German exploit phase. They did successfully attack that stack there with the armor bonus. Even with them being DG, they had the armor bonus. It gave them a decent amount of factors still, so we went for it. It wasn't great odds, but good enough to get us a kill and make them take 2 options, which they retreated to this point. They were also exploit capable. So we've moved, we've released a reserve up to here. One of the units from that combat is advanced here, and we're going to try and finish off this stack here. We're attacking at 7-1. And roll for surprise first. And we get it. 3 shifts. That'll put us max table. And it's dead. Definitely. Alright. So there was a, I'll show here. We had an artillery, an organic truck, and headquarters. So that's not good. Again. Oh well. Okay, live and learn. That was a really poor defensive setup I had there. I really don't know what I was thinking, but hey, there you go. It's helpful for the Germans, so. Alright. And that's going to end the German turn here, and now we will get to see some of 8th Army in action. Okay, so here we have 8th Army. It's a pretty substantial force. We've got 3 British headquarters plus a New Zealand headquarters, 1st Armored, 7th Armored, 50th Infantry, 51st Infantry, a bunch of independent armor, 201st Guards Infantry Battalion, a few artillery brigades, 4 loaded truck points, Indian Infantry Division, the New Zealand Infantry Division, this AR-5 French unit, plus 6 supply points. So that's a hell of a reinforcement. Just like these armored stacks are just massive too. You can't see here. I'll give you a side shot here. just a substantial amount of troops here. And we're gonna send them this way and try and cause some problems. This should be a whole lot of fun. Okay, so here we are after Allied movement. We ended up overrunning, this unit was in the airfield here successfully, and taking that, so we brought in some aircraft for some fighter cover here. Moved some infantry and some independent armor up to have a front line here. Most of them had to do it in move mode. So I think that we might forego attacking this turn. Hopefully we can win initiative and flip over and start it going at it. But it looks tough to get through here. Very difficult indeed. I'm kind of not exactly sure how I want to go about it as well. So I was thinking, you know, go around up along the coast here. There's some opportunities to go that way, or around along this road here, or straight through the center. That's the options we have at the moment. Oops. I did contemplate maybe trying to go all the way around all of this and coming up around here, but we would need an extender. We only came onto the map with 4 truck points, so we need to get one more down here, and with how things are going in the center, I'd be a little nervous moving a truck point through all of that. Might be doable, but again, I'm not totally confident. So I think we'll just see what happens here, see if we can't force the issue. It might take a few turns of us just beating our head against the wall to get through, but we'll get through eventually, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, it might be good for us to wait here just for supply purposes as well. It costs a lot of supply to move this large a force. You figure you've got like, what, 5 independent divisions. So that's 5 supply points right there just to fuel. Well, we're close to the enemy now, so our infantry won't have to pay next turn, but it was costly right at the start here. Okay, so what else? Let's take a look at the center here. We've kind of pulled back a little bit. We probably should have done this in the first place, moved back to the positions in the mountains here, instead of, for some reason, trying to hold the pass. I don't know. Kind of bummed out about how this went for the Allies. The Germans don't have a ton to push on with, I don't think, but still, we've been weakened here, that's for sure. Nothing really new in the north. Kind of just both sides are just happy to kind of maintain what's going on there. There's not really anything either side wants to do at the moment. The Germans are comfortable in the position they have right now. Wouldn't mind building up some more supply, and the Allies are really just nervous about opening something up for the Germans to go after again. So we're kind of just waiting to see what happens in the south here and in the center. But it's going to have an effect on what happens up in the north, for sure. It can change everything. If the Allies can get their shit together here, then maybe they can get a force together to flank around Tunis and Bizerte there. If not, then we'll have the Germans pushing onto the Allied flank. So, could be interesting. Okay, well, I think I'm just going to call this a turn. I don't think I'm going to attack in the south here. So we will roll for initiative for turn 29? Yeah, turn 29. We'll roll for weather first. That'll be fine. And now we'll roll for the initiative. And the Axis win initiative, and they will... they will think about it. We might want to react to what the Allies do at the Meredith line, so we might be better off letting them go first, because there's not really much more we can do with winning the initiative to really improve the defenses here. We're kind of ready to go. We've been ready to go for a turn or two now. Maybe if we could get something going in the center before the Allies have a chance to fix up their defenses to what they would like, but I don't know how much more we want to push there at the moment either, so yeah, I'll think this one over. Yeah, alright, well, I guess that's the end of this video. I think I'll get this one uploaded. It might be a few days before I can get back to this, so hang in there, everybody. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate everybody's comments and all the views. It's great, so thanks again, everybody.